Okay, guys, good morning, all of you. Last session we started about file handling. I'm giving the summary of last session. So last session we discussed about file handling. So file handling is very important programming in every language. Okay, so with the help of file handling, we perform few of the operations like create files and directories. Next, delete files and directories. Next, send the data from Java program to send the data from Java program to file. Okay. Next, after that, read the data from the file. Read the data from the file, and we discussed about serialization, and we discussed about deserialization. Deserialization. So these are all the areas we discussed. Create files and directories, delete files, delete directories, and send the data from the program, and read the data from the file, and serialization and deserialization. So these are all the areas which we discussed in the file handling. So once we are familiar with the file handling, so next concept we have multi-threading. Multi-threading. In the multi-threading, what is our agenda? So in the multi-threading, we'll try to understand what is multi-threading and what is single tasking and what is multitasking. What is multitasking? Okay, so what is thread life cycle? Thread life cycle, and what is how many ways you can create the thread? Types of threads, types of threads, and next we will discuss how many ways you can create the thread, how many ways you can create the thread, how many ways you can create the thread, and there is a concept thread synchronization. Thread synchronization. Synchronization. So these are all the areas we'll discuss in case of multi-threading. Multi-threading. Okay. So today we can go ahead with multi-threading. So first the first question is, what is single tasking? What is single tasking? Single tasking meaning performing only one task at a time is called single tasking. Single tasking means performing one task at a time is called single tasking. Is called single tasking. Examples are like I can do only one work at a time. For example, I am running or I am walking. Okay, and second example is I am listening the music. I am listening the music, and next one is I would say I am reading the book. I am reading the book. Meaning only I am doing only one task at a time is called single tasking. Okay. So coming to here, next one is multitasking. Multitasking meaning Multitasking meaning performing multiple tasks at a time is called multitasking. Multitasking means performing multiple tasks, multiple tasks at a time is called multitasking. Multitasking meaning performing multiple tasks at a time is called multitasking. Examples are at a time listening the music and reading the book. Listening the music and walking. So if you observe here in single tasking, we are able to we are performing only one task at a time. But in case of multitasking, at a time we are doing the multiple tasks. So which one is the recommended one? It is time taking process. And it is so at a time we are doing the multiple tasks. So coming to here, next one is eating and listening the music, and here in my case, teaching and typing the notes. Okay, at a time we are doing multiple tasks at a time is called multitasking. Single tasking meaning single tasking means performing only one task at a time is called single tasking. So these are the examples. And multitasking meaning performing multiple tasks at a time is called multitasking. Multitasking. Okay. Okay. We are discussing about multi-threading, guys. In the multi-threading, we are discussing about what is single tasking, and after that, we are discussing about what is multitasking. What is multitasking? Okay. So the same thing I can show you the document and then see. So if you come to here, this is a multi-threading we are doing with in the multi-threading. So see here, what is single tasking? Single tasking means executing one task at a time is called single tasking. Okay. Here much of process time will be wasted because of waiting very high and processor gives the response rate. Response rate. Like OS operating systems, like in our systems, all are following the single tasking. Next, we have a multitasking. Multitasking meaning you can see here executing multiple tasks at a same time simultaneously. Okay, here the process time is utilized in the proper manner and performance of the application reducing and waiting time and processor gives the response faster. So these are the examples. This is the DOS OS meaning this is the old OS. Okay, present whatever we are using the OS that is which is related to multitasking. So at a time you can see I am able to running parallelly these many applications for IDE, YouTube, IDE. Uh, this is the present. So basically at a time I am using these many applications with the help of multitasking. Multitasking. Yeah. Multitasking we can achieve in two ways. One is the process based multitasking, and the second one is the Thread-based multitasking. Multitasking we can achieve in two ways. Okay, what is multitasking? Multitasking means executing the multiple tasks at a time is called multitasking. So multitasking we can achieve in two ways. One is the process-based multitasking. Second one is thread-based multitasking. Okay, in the process-based multitasking, multiple tasks at the same time simultaneously where each task is independent of other tasks having the separate memory and resources. Process-based multitasking is an operating system approach. So these are the examples. Okay, so here the concept is multitasking means performing multiple tasks at a time is called multitasking. This multitasking we can achieve in two ways. We can achieve multitasking in two ways. Multitasking in two ways. We can achieve multitasking in two ways. What are the two ways? First one is the process-based multitasking. Process-based multitasking. And second one is thread-based multitasking. Thread-based multitasking. Process-based multitasking. Second one is the thread-based multitasking. Again, what does it mean by process-based multitasking? Performing multiple tasks simultaneously. Okay, what is process-based multitasking? Performing multiple tasks simultaneously. Simultaneously performing multiple tasks at a time. Simultaneously is called process-based multitasking. Process-based multitasking. But in case of thread-based multitasking, so where actually each task is independent, where each task is each task is independent. Performing each task is independent, independent, one independent, and have separate memory and resources. But in case of here, thread-based multitasking meaning performing multiple tasks at a time simultaneously, where each task is dependent, dependent and sometimes independent. Each task is dependent, or sometimes independent, have separate memory and resources, separate and resources. Okay, so I hope you guys are got it. Like, what does it mean by multitasking? The name itself have the meaning. Okay, so executing multiple tasks is called multitasking, and we can achieve the multitasking. There are two ways. One is the process-based multitasking. Process-based multitasking meaning so multiple works we can do same time, but each task is independent. But in case of thread-based multitasking, so we can perform multiple tasks at a time. So there are different tasks can independent or dependent. Okay, I hope you guys are clear. What is multithreading? Multitasking means executing the multiple tasks is at a time is called multitasking, and we can achieve multitasking in two ways. The two ways are like process-based multitasking and thread-based multitasking. Thread-based multitasking. So next, some interviews they will ask like, what is the difference between thread and process? Thread and process. Process meaning a program execution is called as a process. Like for example, I can open my IDE and then we'll try to understand one by one. We'll get the clarity on it. For example, there is a IDE. I'm opening IDE. In the IDE, I'm changing the workspace. Now, here I'm creating one package. Simply, I can mention like as multi-threading as the package name. So package name is programs on multi-threading. This is the package name. Now I'm taking the class name. The class name I would like to give some demo class, and inside this, so here I would like to take this out statement. So if I run this one, we will get the output right. So a program execution is called a process. Program execution, it is executing right. So I am executing the program. If I am executing the program meaning, so process also happening. Here the thing is process meaning a program execution is called a process. Then what is thread? Thread meaning sub-process of the process. Sub-process meaning that is the small program of the process is called thread. Now if anyone they will ask like what is process? Program execution is called process, and thread means thread is the sub-process of the process. Sub-process of the process. Okay. After the difference between thread and process, next we have the concept that is types of threads. Types of types of threads, guys. There are two types of threads actually. One is the user-defined threads. Types of thread. There are two types of threads. One use predefined thread, and second one is user-defined thread. User-defined thread. So in Java, if you want to run any program, if you want to run any program, one thread is mandatory. One thread is mandatory. That thread is either a predefined thread, that thread either is user defined thread. But for running any program, one thread is mandatory. So from starting to till now, we all executed the programs, right? So internally, one main thread is executing. One main thread is executing. So is there any proof like how main thread is executing? Yes, there is a proof. If you see here, for every Java program, there will be a default thread by the JVM, which is called main thread. Okay, the entry point of the main thread is called main method. And so see, you will get the details of the main thread. So this I can run the program and then I will show you. Okay, current thread name, if you want to know the current thread name, T dot, there is a method, current thread method. Inside you can mention. And coming to here, T dot get name and sysout statement, T dot get priority and sysout statement, T dot get group, thread group. So if I print this one, we will get main thread details. So see here, main thread, thread priority is 5, and this is the thread name. Okay, this is the thread group, thread group. For any program in the Java, so by default, main thread will be executed by default. From starting to till now, we executed any program, right? Any program, background, JVM, one main thread will be executed. So if you want to get the details of the main thread, so this is the process. Like there is a methods. With the help of that method, we can find out the like a predefined thread name and a predefined priority, thread priority, thread. It is all the details we can get by using all the methods. All the methods. I hope you guys are clear. If you see here, this is the main thread. This is the problem. See here, advantages of the multi-threading. Multi-threading reduces the CPU idle time that increase the overall performance of the system. Since thread is lightweight process, then it takes less memory and performance. Context switching as well, that helps to share the memory and reduce the time of switching between the threads. Switching between the threads. Now coming to here. Next, thread life cycle, guys. Thread life cycle. So, however, human have the life cycle, right? Next concept is thread life cycle. Thread life cycle. How human have the life cycle? Human life cycle. For example, human life cycle. Generally, you know already, right? Like human can born, he can survive, and finally he will be buried, right? Or we'll see, right? This is the human life cycle. He can, meaning he will give, might be the service or he can survive. Born, service, means survive, finally die. This is the human life cycle, right? So same way, thread also have the life cycle. Thread can born, thread can give us some service, and finally it also die. It also die. So there is a life cycle. So we will how the thread will born. Developers only will create the thread. Developers only can create the thread. There is a life cycle. So if you come to here, so this is the life cycle. Thread will born, and there is a start method. When you start the start method, then thread will start move from new state to runnable state. Runnable meaning the thread are ready to use. So there is a thread scheduler. Thread scheduler, that is the internal program which is available in the JVM. It can pick the one random thread, and after thread scheduler, it will be moved to running state to runnable state to running state. Running state. Okay. And here running state meaning it will where our actual logic will be execute here, and then meaning this is the service state, and once it's got completed, then the thread will be terminated. Then the thread will be terminated. So these are the steps. If you see here, a thread begins its life cycle in new state. It remains in this state until start method is called on it. Next, runnable meaning. After calling of the start method, a new thread becomes runnable. And running meaning a thread is in running state if thread scheduler has selected. Waiting is the methods. Waiting, a thread is in waiting state if it waits for another thread to perform the task. In this stage, the thread is still alive. Next one is terminate thread enter the terminator state when it completes the task. When it completes the task, I hope you guys are clear. Thread will born here, and so until it is in the new state only, until we call the start method. When you call the start method, then it will become to runnable. And there is a thread scheduler. Thread scheduler is the program which inbuilt in the JVM. Okay, thread scheduler, it can pick up one random thread, and once it pick up, then it will become runnable to running. Runnable to running. Next, wait method. Like if you mention the timings, like there are 5 threads parallel if you want to run, and you can give the timings. So based on the timings, your threads will be executed. You can wait any thread. So like that, you can perform the programs and all. So waiting meaning if you want to wait any thread, then you can do that one also. That because of this waiting. Next we have terminate. Finally, the thread will be terminated. So if anyone they will ask like what is thread life cycle? Thread's life cycle is new. There are 5 steps. First one is the new. Second one is runnable. Third one is running. Fourth one is waiting. And fifth one is terminated. Terminated. Thread will be in new state until we call the start method. Start method. Okay. So after calling the start method, after calling the start method, so thread will move from new state to runnable state. Runnable thread. Next, running. So thread will move to running state after thread scheduler has selected. After thread scheduler has selected. Next, waiting. Thread will be in waiting state until another thread task completed. Until another thread task completed. Next, terminated. So finally, so after task completed, thread will be terminated. Thread will be terminated. This is the thread life cycle. A new, runnable, running, waiting, terminated. This is the thread life cycle. This is the thread life cycle, and this is the diagram for the thread life cycle. This is the diagram for the thread life cycle. Next, thread priority. A thread priority meaning, for example, so this before that priority, we'll try to understand user defined threads. So in the user defined threads, already we understood like what does it mean by predefined thread. Predefined thread is the main thread. If you want to run any program, by default the JVM will execute main thread. So that all the details we know. Now we'll try to understand user defined threads. User defined threads. User defined threads. User defined threads basically we can create user defined threads in two ways. Based on the requirement, we can create user defined threads in two ways. One is by extending the thread class. By extending the thread class, and the second one is by implementing the runnable interface. By implementing the runnable interface. By implementing the runnable interface. Okay. So we can create user-defined threads in two ways. One is by extending the thread class. Second one is by implementing the runnable interface. Runnable interface. Okay. So first one is the syntax for the runnable interface is normal. You can take the class like public class. I'm taking a demo extends thread. This is one way to create the thread. So where actually we can create the thread like this. Thread t equal to new thread. So when I create the object, which means thread created, and which is in new state, thread created, and which is in new state. Are you guys clear with my statements? This is the one way to create, and there is second way to create, that is by implementing runnable interface. By implementing runnable interface case, demo implements runnable interface by implementing runnable interface by implementing. So in the interview perspective, they will ask, we can create a thread in two ways. That is okay, very good. So which approach is the recommended approach? So always interface is the recommended approach. Why? Because if is there any you want to inherit from super classes to this thread, then there is a possibility with the help of interface, but there is no possibility with the help of class. So when whenever you are creating the thread, always recommended with the runnable interface only. Runnable interface is the recommended approach because in future we can inherit any other classes properties as well. Any other classes properties as well you can inherit. But in case of class, it cannot possible. So that is the reason always recommended approach is the interface only. Always recommended approach is the interface. Now come to here. So see here, user defined threads. In Java, we can create user defined threads by using any of the following two approaches. First one is the by extending the thread class. Second one is by implementing the runnable interface. So creating the user defined thread by executing the thread class, there are five steps. What are the five steps? If you want to create the user defined threads using the approach, you can follow the five steps. First one is the creating the class that extends thread class. So this is the syntax. This is the normal any class name you can take. So my thread is the class, extends the thread. And come to step two, overriding the run method. So this will have the run method. Thread is the predefined, right? So from that we can override there is a run method. There is a run method, public void run method. And if you come to here run method is called entry point for the user defined thread. And all job done by the user defined thread will be written here itself. So third step is creating an object for the user defined thread. This is the user defined thread and attaching the user defined thread with the main thread group and starting execution and start execution when we call the start method, then thread will be restarted with the thread scheduler and next can invoke the run method. So there are five steps while we need to follow guys. So what are the five steps? So any approach, first approach, I am going with this approach. Yeah, first approach is this one guys. So here first one is create thread and extends thread class, thread class. Okay, next step is create the thread. This is the create the thread. This is main thread. Second step is this one guys. This is the second step. This is the main thread which I actually I would say when you extend this one we will get the we can override run method, run method. So inside run method we can we will write our business logic. Whatever business logic we will write that will be executed based on the thread priorities and all. Okay, here we will write the business logic. Step number two is we can override run method where we can write our business logic, our business logic. Okay, step number three, create thread, create thread, create a thread. The syntax for this one is, I can say thread t equal to new thread. Okay, and create object for the fourth step is create object for the current class. Create object for the current class. Current class, that is like current class is demo, right? Demo d equal to new demo. And fourth step is attach this demo class to this thread object. Fifth step is attach demo object to thread object. Thread object. So this is like this. Thread t equal to new thread d, and we can call the start method. We can call the thread by using start method. So thread created until it will be in the new state only, until we can call the thread by using start method. By using start method. This is clear or not what I'm saying? The same steps I can write a program and then I can show you. This is clear or not? All the steps is clear or not? If you understand this one, then you can easily understand runnable interface. Same process. Same process. There are two ways to create the user defined thread, and we are discussing about the extends thread. If you understand extends thread, then you can able to easily understand with respect to interface as well. The same process there itself. So now I can write a program and then I will show you. You will get some clarity on it. For example, yeah, I'm removing this all the stuff. Okay, saving the program. Now, what is the first point? First point is this one. Create thread and extend the thread class. I'm copying this one and I'm commenting here. Create thread class and extend the thread. So in my case, I given the name as demo and extends thread class. So this it has satisfied this one or not? Yes, satisfied. In the thread class is the predefined one. In that which is having only one method, that is the run method. That is a run method. So inside we can write our business logic. Inside we can write our business logic. Inside we can write our business logic. Okay, this is the run method, right? Yeah. Inside we can write our business logic. Here I would like to write my business logic is some hello. This is my business logic. Okay. Now second step also completed. What is the second step? What is the second step, guys? We can override the run method. Coming to here, I overridden the run method, and where we can write our business logic. Here I written simple business logic, that is a hello. Okay, fine. Second step also completed. Very good. Now third one is create a object for the thread. So where we can create, we required main method. Inside the main method, I am creating the thread equal to new thread. Okay, fine. So what does it mean by creating object for the thread? Creating object meaning creating the thread only, which means creating the thread, thread created the thread. Okay. Okay, fine. Now you can create the object for the current class. So demo d equal to new demo. And what does it mean by creating object for the current class? Current class. This is the step number 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the step number 3. This is the step number 4. This is 1 and this is 2 and this is 3 and 4, and the next step is attaching. Okay, how we can attach? Thread t equal to new thread. You can attach like this. So here the thing is, fifth step is attaching current class object to current class object to current class object to thread object, thread object, thread object. Okay, now call the start method. T1 dot, we can call the start method. I'm saving this one. If I run this one, then you can get the, you will print the hello. You can able to print the hello. If I run this one, see here, you can able to print hello or not. Okay, why like for printing only hello, we want to write the program. Now, for example, here I want to print hello 10 times. If you want to print the hello 10 times, normally what is the approach you will follow? There is a looping statement, right? Looping statement is uh, go inside the looping statement where int I equal to 0 and I less than or equal to 10 and I plus plus operator. Inside I would like to write hello. In this case, if I execute this one, you will get the hello in 10 times. But all are printing same time, no? All are printing same time. Are you guys clear with my statement? All are printing the same times. I don't want to print all at same time. I want to print. So after, like, it will be print first time after 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Next statement will be printed after 10 seconds. Another statement. So like that we can write the, that we can that possible with only the multi-threading, guys. Normally, without multi-threading, if I run this program, what happens actually? All the hello statements will be printed at one time. But I don't want to print all at one time. I want to print with sometimes, like for example, there is a method, sleep method. I'm mentioning the times. Like for example, if I am mentioning some 1000 milliseconds, yeah. Now you can see if I run the program, if I run the program, you can increase those time of the thread 2000 milliseconds. Little bit drag down. change to 1000. Okay, Control S, save this one. So we need to mention that one. So see here, main thread, and we're attaching that one. Now calm down. Multi-threading Java program with a sleep method. We'll get number of programs. Okay. So this we can mention inside here. Save the program, and we can mention like thread dot sleep. Okay, now can run the program. So see here, the thread will be printed based on the time execution, right? So this, for example, I want to mention some 2 seconds. I can save the program, and if I run this one, I can able to see hello. After every 2 seconds, it is executing the thread. It is executing the task. Okay, I hope you guys are clear how to create thread and how to call the thread and all right. So by implementing also same thing. By implementing runnable also same thing. Okay, so today what you guys will do? You guys try to understand what is main thread and how to create user defined threads by in two ways. So this is with respect to thread class, right? And simply can change to implements runnable interface. That's it. Implements runnable interface. That's it. The same program. Same program process is the same. If you understood how to write extending thread class, the same thing with respect to implements runnable as well. Runnable as well. So today what you guys will do, you can create one program with the main thread details like main thread name and main thread priority and main thread group and all. And second, you can create the thread in two ways. One is extending the thread class. The second one is the implement the runnable interface. These three programs you can do, and then you can upload. And tomorrow what we will see? Tomorrow we'll see thread priorities, and we can create the multiple threads and how multiple threads you can call. And after that, there is a concept that is the synchronization, thread synchronization. Once we complete with the synchronization, then we can complete the thread concept, multi-threading concept. Okay. So creating multi-thread meaning, for example, if you see this program, creating multiple threads here like this, for example, for one class, we can create multiple threads coming to this program and yes, I'm removing this one. Hello? Yes, yes, yes. Hmm? Yes, yes. No, no, no. If you want to create multiple threads, then you can create the multiple objects. This I can mention like as the D1, okay, and demo dot D2 equal to easy concept. If you understand concept how you, what the process, then you can easily able to manage D3 equal to new demo. So there are three objects I created, right? Now for you can attach here also can attach like thread T1 already here it is available, right? For example, these two statements I am removing equal to new thread and here we need to attach D1 same way thread T2 equal to new thread D2 and thread T3 equal to new thread that is T3 and you can call the methods. Calling the methods is T1 dot start method and T2 dot start method and next one is T3 dot start method. Okay, if I call this one, then now we can able to got it right like this. If you want to know like if you want to give the name of each thread, then you can give the names also. For example, here itself I can able to give the name. I can start the program. Now I can give the set name T1 dot set thread name set name. So here I would like to give some name is some Raju thread and this is I would like to give some Rani thread T2 dot set name. Here I would like to give some Rani thread and here also I would like to give T3 dot set name. Here also can able to give some Lata. I'm saving this one. If I run this one, now also can able to see. And if you want to print the name of that one, here you can mention Thread dot current thread dot get name. That name will be printed. That name will be printed. Okay, saving this program and then I am running. So see here, Lata Razurani. So like that you can give the names and you can give the priorities as well. You can give the priorities as well. So this is how we can create the multiple threads. So tomorrow we'll see like how we can give the thread names, priorities and all. Okay. So you guys, today you guys will, you need to understand. So what is single tasking? What is multitasking? How many ways you can create the user defined thread? So this is the concept you have to understand. Now I can copy this one.